Greetings, everyone. Well, I was actually going to do a DVD and Blu-ray update video this time because Annetta and I got a bunch of new ones this past week. But that's going to be put on hold until tomorrow because I was just over on Blu-ray.com and I found some very interesting news for Star Trek fans. Oh yeah, now I know a lot of my viewers are Star Trek fans and I've had a lot of requests to do something about Star Trek. So, the simple fact of the matter is I don't own a lot of Star Trek. I love Star Trek, I always have. I just don't own them because, well, A, they keep coming out with different editions of the shows all the time, so I'm always kind of on the fence about which ones to get. And B, the sets that are out tend to be really expensive, and yeah. Anyway, let's talk about Star Trek today. Old and, well, new old. You'll know what I mean. Yes, I still have the cup. Oh, and for Christmas, I got a new Jack Skellington shirt. Angry Jack! Urgh! Which has absolutely nothing to do with Star Trek. But anyway, let's cast our eyes back a little bit, shall we? You may recall back in April of 2008 when I did my epic multi-part overview of my entire DVD collection. And in particular the sci-fi section, in which you saw the Star Trek movie collection. There we go, the Star Trek movie collection. I hold in my hands the first 6, because specifically I want to talk about original crew stuff today. And the original crew is my personal favorite out of all of them. If you don't have Star Trek, the movies, on DVD, and you like the movies, get these special editions. 2-disc special editions. This is the director's edition of Star Trek the Motion Picture, which is interesting because it features, I think, the last thing that director Robert Wise ever did, because he actually died a couple years after doing this. So this is a completely new edition of Star Trek the Motion Picture that we've never seen in any other form. And it's a beautiful 2-disc edition and stuff like that. Honestly, the new edition is kind of hit or miss. I found that some of the effects were cool, but some of the new sound effects didn't pack as much punch as the original. But anyway, good stuff, and we've got the director's cut of Star Trek II. Once again, never seen anywhere before. We've got Star Trek 3, Star Trek 4, Star Trek 5, which everybody hates, but I think it has its good points, and Star Trek 6. The Undiscovered Country. Now these are all 2-disc special editions. Though oddly, only the first one had a booklet in it. The rest of them are just the discs. Now the reason I mention these is because until now these have been the best editions available, because first off, you know, picture and sound quality is about as good as it can get on DVD, and each one is loaded with extras. I mean, look at this. This is the first one. Look at all those extras on there. Second one, all these extras. So, I mean, it's worth having them just for the extras. But the other reason I mention it is these are dirt cheap. For all the stuff that's in them, these sets are dirt freaking cheap. I think I picked all of these up for about $7 each. I know I didn't pay more than $10 for any one of them. You can usually find them like in the bargain bins at Walmart and stuff like that, and there they go. Which kind of surprised me because they're really deluxe editions, and it just doesn't seem to jibe with how Paramount usually prices their season sets, which are ridiculously expensive. So, but I wasn't complaining. I was like, hey, okay, I gotta hold off on the shows because they're expensive, but I can get the movies dirt cheap. Works for me. So at least I can have some Star Trek in my collection. And those of you who are wondering, of course, I'll just quickly show you. Yes, all of the Next Generation movies are available in special editions as well. And that's number 9 and number 10. Okay. So the reason I mention these is, as I say, because these are the best editions available of the movies, with the most extras, with the best extras, and with extras that we may or may not see on the new Blu-ray editions coming out. Not all of the movies, but the first 6 are being released on Blu-ray. Now I have to mention, all of this news is still technically in the rumor category, okay? But it's very well informed rumor. It's rumor from reputable sources, which means it's basically locked. We just haven't got an official release date yet. Although we sort of have a release date. Anyway, I'll get to that in a minute. Well, no, I'll get to it now so I don't forget. All the stuff I'm going to mention, Star Trek on Blu-ray, is set to be released, I believe, according to the rumor, on the same day as the new Star Trek movie. Maybe that's the reason for the delay. They wanted to have a huge post-production thing. Remember, the new Star Trek movie was supposed to come out like at Christmas, and then it got pushed to, early summer. What are my feelings on the new Star Trek movie? Well, obviously I can't say for certain because none of us have seen it, but I'm sure we've all seen the trailer. I am by turns excited and terrified. Because, obviously, I grew up with the original Star Trek series, and I hold those characters near and dear to my heart. I think it's the best Star Trek series ever, and they've never, ever managed to match the dynamics between the characters from the original series in any of the subsequent series. There was just nothing that could compare with the whole Kirk, Spock, McCoy thing, and all the other characters, Scotty and Uhura and Sulu and Chekhov and everybody. It was such a good ensemble that I don't think any of the other subsequent shows, even though they had better special effects and, bigger budget and more studio support, I just don't think they were as good in terms of the characters and such. But anyway, that's my take on it. I know a lot of Trekkies feel the same way, and a lot of Trekkies don't feel the same way, so it's a matter of personal preference, I think. There's certainly more than enough Star Trek out there to please everybody, whatever your taste. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the new movie just to see another chapter in the lives of those characters, even though it won't be by the same actors. Though I understand I think Leonard Nimoy has a cameo in it somewhere, which would be kind of nice to see. But oddly, William Shatner doesn't, which I thought was really strange. You would have thought they would have got the Shatner in there, like, what the hell? Anyway, so it'll be nice to see those characters back in action. I just hope that, it's true to the spirit of the original series. But one thing I think we can all agree on, Zachary Quinto looks amazing as a young Spock. Come on. Amazing. I think he's going to do a great job. And if nothing else, Zachary Quinto's going to save the movie. It's going to be Quinto's show, man. Anyway, so timed to coincide with the release of the new movie and revisiting these classic old characters, they're also giving us the opportunity to revisit the original old characters on Blu-ray in the form of a boxed set of the first 6 movies called the Kirk and Spock Collection. It's kind of a cheesy name. I would have just liked the Star Trek Original Crew Collection because it's really not all about Kirk and Spock. It's going to be nice to have them on Blu-ray. We haven't got the final specs on them. Now, they're saying that some of the director's cuts that we got in the original DVD editions may not be on the Blu-ray edition. This is also basically rumor. I haven't seen anything concrete about it. One of the rumors is that all the new effects done for this DVD edition of Star Trek the Motion Picture were done in standard definition, so they wouldn't actually translate very cleanly over to high def. I don't know if that's true. It's been a while since I watched the extras on that, so I can't really say off the top of my head. But anyway, it remains to be seen if they will include the various multiple versions, like alternate versions that have been available. I'm hoping they go like the Blade Runner route and give us all the different versions, because this one in particular, Star Trek the Motion Picture, there's been at least 3 versions that I'm aware of. There's the original theatrical version, which is going to be on the Blu-ray. There's the extended home video version, which was the only version available on home video for a very long time, and that's the one I kind of grew up with and was familiar with. And then there's this version, the director's edition, which is, again, completely different. I like them all. A lot of people didn't like the first movie, but I enjoyed it. But the news that really excited me and prompted me to do this video was not the fact that the movies are coming out on Blu-ray, because that's been common knowledge for a while. They announced it a while back. The thing that fans have been waiting for is to get any word on the original series on Blu-ray, because of course most of you are aware that they did a full high-definition remastering of the entire original series, because of course they have all the original film elements, so they were able to recapture all the film elements in high definition, clean them up, and basically have now perfect transfers of the original film, so that they have new versions that look better than it did in the original broadcasts. And then, of course, they also went in and cleaned up all the effects and actually replaced a lot of the effects, remaining as true as and faithful as possible to the original effects in terms of design and such, but replacing them. And a lot of fans are like, oh, that's cool that they're doing that to make it a little more accessible to a new audience. But it'd be nice to have the original versions in that quality as well, with the original old outdated effects, because sure, the effects are outdated, but it's what most of us grew up with. We're used to it. It's a nostalgia trip. It's what we know, and to us, part of the experience of watching old Star Trek is to see those old scratchy effects. So this is why it was really exciting to me to hear what they're planning to do with the Blu-ray version. Get this. Previously, there have been a bunch of DVD releases of the original series on DVD. First, there was a 40-volume set with 2 episodes per disc, and that's huge, of all 79 episodes. Then they released season sets of all 3 seasons of the original versions. Then they went off and did the remastering a few years later, and this was during the format war, so the first season came out on HD DVD and not Blu-ray, and not regular DVD, although the HD DVD was actually a combo set, so it was HD DVD on one side of the disc, regular DVD on the other side of the disc. The subsequent 2 seasons of the remastered versions were available on DVD only, so that left fans scratching their heads like, are we ever going to see a Blu-ray release? I mean, HD DVD's gone, so come on, where's the Blu-ray version? Well, at long last, whatever the holdup was, it looks like Paramount's finally ready to release it on Blu-ray in season sets once again. But here's the thing. Previous sets had one version or the other. The Blu-ray set is going to have both. Oh yeah. So any Star Trek fans out there, if you're on the fence about upgrading to Blu-ray and you want the best of the best of the best for your classic Trek, looks like you're going to get it just around the corner. So that's right, I'm guessing they're going to use some kind of seamless branching, and they're having both the remastered and original versions together in the same set. How freaking cool is that? Now, I was kind of on the fence about buying the season sets for a while. I noticed that they did come down in price, the original versions, the original season sets. Not the remasters, but the original ones. They came down to like $50 or $60 a set. So I was really considering getting them. The only thing that was kind of putting me off was the fact that they put them out in the season sets in air date order, which is actually wrong. That's not the way it's intended to be seen. Now, ever since the first video release, fans have been aware of the intended viewing order. And this is the viewing order intended by Gene Roddenberry himself and the other producers of the show. This is the order that it was meant to be watched in. The order it was originally aired in was anything but the intended viewing order. It was all out of sequence, a complete mess. Not that there's a huge tight continuity in the series, in the original series, but it's nice to see it the way the producers originally wanted us to see it. I mean, there's stories of network interference all throughout the production of the original series, but one of them involved the air date order, where they had put together... Well, they did the original pilot, of course, and then it was shelved, and then the network ordered a second pilot, and then it got picked up as a series. So, of course, logically, they wanted the second pilot to be the first thing aired, because it sort of served as a nice little introduction to the crew and everything. But the network didn't want to air that one because it was more of an intellectual, cerebral story, as it were. So, instead, they went with an episode intended to be aired later, which had the typical sci-fi monster in it. Specifically, it was The Man Trap was the episode they aired first. It was supposed to be Where No Man Has Gone Before, which was the second pilot. The airing order was so completely not true to the vision of the original creators. So it really surprised me when they put out the season sets and put them in air date order. Because nobody wants it in air date order. I mean, fine, have the air dates in the episode listing. So if you really want to watch them in air date order, you can do that your own damn self. But the way they should be on the set, now this is my personal opinion, but I think a lot of Trekkies and Trekkers will back me up on this. The way it should be on these sets is in the intended viewing order. Be true to the original creators' visions. So that's my only thing, and we don't have any word on that yet, because as I say, all this news is rumor. My thing is I really hope they put them in the intended viewing order instead of the air date order again, because I mean, this already is shaping up to be the most definitive release of Star Trek, the original series, on any home video format ever. Now, just so you know, I mean, this means that we'll be getting the original versions remastered as well. So we'll have like full, clean, perfect film transfers, high-definition film transfers of the original versions in addition to the remastered versions with the CG effects. So we get the same picture quality for both versions, which is why this is so cool. So yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. So anyway, that's my Star Trek news. A little bit long-winded, but it all needed to be said. So I'll probably be talking about Star Trek more in the foreseeable future, because there's obviously a lot of cool Star Trek stuff coming out, and I definitely hope to get it. I just hope that they price it more reasonably than they have in the past. I mean, come on, Paramount. Nobody else prices season sets like that. I mean, that may have been acceptable nearly 10 years ago when TV on DVD was new, but consumers now expect a bargain, okay? So come on. It can't cost that much to make the sets. So let's get a deal going here. Alright. Anyway, that's it from me to you for now. So until next time, thanks for watching, and sayonara.